Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a bit more disorganized than usual, like if they are really organized in the first place. No, but it's going to be about a discussion about the La Nina, potentially a La Nina. This is still not confirmed that a La Nina will occur, but since it's given the highest chance by the Climate Prediction Center to occur, I decided to, just go with the La Nina discussion. So basically, we'll just be talking about what the impacts could be about the La Nina this winter. Really, what does some patterns I've been noticing, and really just kind of a video to just talk about the upcoming winter and I guess what's going on in the oceans right now in terms of the ENSO. But again, this isn't any sort of outlook. It's just more of a discussion. So a bit more disorganized than my usual disorganized videos. Okay, guys. So if you guys could consider subscribing to this channel, that would be awesome. Again, check out the videos. After just watching one video wouldn't be enough to subscribe. I mean, it wouldn't be enough for me. I'd have to watch more videos. So consider doing that. If you guys would like to like the video, if you are a returning fan and you like the videos, liking the video would help out a lot. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So you can see that this was last updated July 20th, 2020, which was 6 days ago as of recording this video. And you can see that we have a La Nina watch. The ENSO alert system status, for a while, it has been inactive. It was just inactive. Now there's a La Nina watch. And that's basically indicating that, kind of like a winter storm watch. You know, the possibility of a La Nina is there, and we'll just have to monitor it. And you can see that right now, we still have neutral conditions. So don't get fooled by this. We were not in a La Nina yet. But however, you can see that ENSO neutral is favored to continue through the summer, with a 50 to 55% chance of a La Nina developing through the fall and continuing through the winter, around a 50% chance. So you can see it's still pretty darn even with a La Nina versus a neutral. Slowly but surely, it has been leaning towards the La Nina versus the neutral. The neutral pattern has been a bit fading away, if you will. And the confidence towards the La Nina pattern has been, I guess, rising based on Climate Prediction Center's outlooks. And also just looking at the sea surface temperatures, some now forecasters are saying that as early as early fall, we could be looking at La Nina. Honestly, that's possible, but another possibility is we could be looking at a La Nina late fall, or not even at all. So you can see that there's a huge range in this La Nina potential. But that's weather. That's just weather for you. And climatology is probably even worse in terms of accuracy for this type of stuff. But in my opinion, it's very fun because it's such a big guess. You know, it's not certain. And in my opinion, uncertainty in some cases, like the weather, is fun. In other cases, not so much. And if you were to look at the global sea surface temperature departures in Celsius over the past 4 weeks, you can see a general, this is just for during the last 4 weeks, so this is not, I guess, the total anomalies of the ocean. Like, you know, there's probably a few years that are warmer or cooler. This is just during the past 4 weeks. You can see a general cooling trend across the ENSO region, or at least the eastern half of the ENSO region, while the western half by the Indonesian area and Australia and New Zealand right here, it's a bit warmer, which really is not as much of a concern for the La Nina. As long as it's cool in this half, it's considered a La Nina. And there's different regions of the ENSO. If you were to look at them, I don't know, I'm gonna try finding them. There's different, I think I already went past it. There's different regions. You can see there's Nino 3.4, Nino 4, Nino 3, Nino 1+2, and you can see that overall it's been on a cooling trend. The Nino 1+2 has really been cooling off in the past week. But again, this is the past week, so just because it cooled off a lot, you know, the next week could be positive 1.5. This isn't really long term. You know, week isn't really a lot in terms of climatology, in terms of changing the ocean's temperature. But the Nino 4, again, the furthest western one, again, you can see it's just staying stagnant. And if you were to go across this zone right here, that's not a Nino region, but it's getting a bit warmer. So that's I guess classic. Typically, you can see average sea surface temperatures from about the past month. You can see general cooler across the ENSO region, and that's a good news if you want a La Nina. If you don't want a La Nina, then I guess that's bad news. But again, it is what it is, right? So I want to show you now what the forecast is. Let's go through all of this. By the way, this stuff is also really interesting, except it's a little bit more in detail and a little bit more in depth, and I don't want to get into this in this video. Maybe another video. but I want to show you some fun and cooler things than this stuff right here. So first off, again, you already know the definition. ONI, which is a 3-month period, has to be greater than 0.5 to be a El Nino, negative 0.5 to be a La Nina, and anywhere in between that is a neutral, which we are in right now. And you can see that what we were this past winter was just a borderline El Nino. It was barely an El Nino. You can see 0.5, 0.5, 0.6, 0.5. So basically a just as weak of an El Nino as you could possibly get, because if you were to get to 0.4, that's a neutral. But you can see we've been dropping 0.3, 0.0, and now the forecast, again, the forecast is to go into a La Nina. Whether or not that forecast will be right, we'll have to see. You can see that these are the probabilities, peaking around December, January for the La Nina, and then falling back, the neutral maybe rising back, then El Nino. That's just way too far. Even this is kind of far, not speaking about spring. But again, you can see that right now we have that neutral. It's most favored through July and into August, but then the La Nina kind of around the September timeframe could start overtaking that. Here is a group of models, the 3.4 sea surface temperature model outlook of that region, the 3.5 Pacific Nino model outlook, which is, again, the 3.4 is, sorry about the scrolling, I don't know if you keeping up with this, but the 3.4 region is right here, so it's like that central one. And if you were to look at the models, you can see that many of them are showing going into a La Nina. Some of them are showing into a El Nino, 2 or 3. That's really nothing significant. And a lot of them are still showing a neutral, kind of that straddling between a neutral and La Nina, which we could be this winter. You know, like last winter was forecasted to be a neutral winter, but it was a El Nino, kind of again along that line. This year it may be the case where we're 0.5, like 1 month we may be a La Nina, another month we may be a neutral. So that's going to be a bit tougher in terms of the forecast. Hopefully we get more of a decisive answer as we go closer towards the winter time. Here are the CFS ensemble mean, and these are basically sea surface temperatures for the whole region, if you will. And you can see that they're definitely showing a pretty strong correlation of a La Nina occurring. I mean, you could see that the dashed line, the mean, I guess the average, is well into La Nina territory, with the extremes going as far south as 1.5, which is a very strong La Nina, which would, again, I guess, bring up a few different it would bring up a few different challenges, as there are differences between just a weak La Nina and a strong La Nina. So, there's just so many levels to this that you got to understand. This is very tough for forecasters. And I'm just here to do my little own predictions, but I'm not a professional forecaster or meteorologist, so this isn't as important, if you will, as like a hurricane forecast, which that one you for sure should be attending more professional information, National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service. But the ENSO, it's just more kind of like a gamble each year. There are predictions, forecasts, but it's infamous for being wrong. So you can see that this is a La Nina, and a few are showing a neutral, much less than in this forecast graph. Most are showing a La Nina, which I guess shows us more confidence towards a La Nina overall. But again, the confidence on that is still a bit too low to be determined exactly at this point which one will occur. Again, this is called a La Nina discussion because it's mainly it's still, it's between the, I'm not going to title it neutral ENSO discussions. That's just kind of the neutral, kind of like the in-between no one cares about. It's either the La Nina or the El Nino, and it's obviously closer to La Nina, so that's what I decided to call it. Let's look at the, I wanted to look at the cold and warm episodes of the ocean, not of the United States or anything like that. But and this takes us back to 1950, so, plenty of time, 70 years as of this year. And you can see what I did was basically looked at this year. I saw that it's El Nino. Okay, we're going to be in a neutral for a couple of months. And then, given the, I did a pretty big assumption here. Given the fact that we're looking at a most likely a La Nina, I looked at these months. And I basically just, even, it doesn't really matter month by month the exact date, but basically I just wanted to know the general pattern that we're in. El Nino, neutral to La Nina. And I looked at all these years in the past, and I basically just took those years and looked at their winters and saw, and just, I wanted to see if there was any correlation between them, between a El Nino beginning of the year, a neutral middle of the year, and a La Nina end of the year, and how that winter turned out, that La Nina winter. So the last time this happened, to the point where, I guess, well, the last time it happened was 2016, 2017, but I guess this isn't really the best year to look at, first off, because look at how strong the El Nino was. I mean, it was just ridiculously strong. It was the strongest El Nino ever recorded, so that's a bit flawed probably. And you can see that it was much stronger in the beginning of the year, though it did have that general pattern like we will see this year. El Nino, neutral to a La Nina. So if I don't know if I have the 2016-2017 winter pulled up, but just to let you know, that was a warm winter. It really wasn't much of anything, and that's, I guess, that could be to do with a strong El Nino, which I guess messed up that pattern, because the other years that I looked at that had the similar outcomes, see like 2010, 2011, El Nino, neutral, La Nina, had pretty cold winters. Now, this one was a cold winter, but I did not want to take this one into the count because you could see there was very strong La Ninas. After we're not going to most likely get into that of a strong La Nina. I mean, we could, but at this point, it's safe to assume we probably won't be getting into the negative 1.7, 1.6 territory. But if you were wondering, yes, this winter was chilly for much of the U.S. and resulted in a snowy winter. Generally, especially towards the northern U.S., and that may seem like a no-brainer, but again, this is all relative to average. So then I looked at 27. You can see, I mean, it barely was an El Nino at the beginning, so just like this year. It was a neutral, and it transitioned into a La Nina a bit quicker than this year it's forecasted to, but I still took that year into account, and you could see I have a bunch of tabs open here, and I really don't. I closed one out on accident. I don't know which one is which. I apologize. Okay, there we go. 27, 2008. You could see this was the year where, again, I just showed you El Nino, neutral to La Nina, and you can see it was generally cooler across the northwest and northern U.S. Few spots of warmer temperatures. Generally, though, nothing too impressive. It was kind of a mixed. Really, there isn't an overriding theme. A bit cooler in some random areas. That's the best to describe this map. Now, I looked at a bunch of other years throughout this time frame. There weren't that many, but those years I did find all shared something fairly in common. You can see this one definitely wasn't showing warm temperatures. It was more towards the cool, if you will, towards the northern and northwestern United States, and a bit warmer towards the south and east. But that shared the characteristics with the rest of the United States. You can see, or with the rest of the years. December through February of 1971, that was the same scenario. In 1970, was an El Nino, neutral, and then a La Nina. And you can see it was cold across the northern, warm across the south. So kind of like, I say cold but warm, and this is, again, relative to average. So if it's, it's obviously going to be colder in the first place in the south, or in the north than in the south, but there are years where it's colder than the average in the south compared to the north. And if you were to look at another year, 1984, this one was a really strange one. It has the same characteristic with the Enzo, but you can see there's not a single area of warm, and there's just this general area of cool across the south central United States. Everywhere else is right around average, smack average. So this was, again, a slightly cooler winter. That's about as much as you could put it. In terms of precip, I didn't overlay it with the precipitation. I didn't look at that. I felt like that'd be too long of a video to look at that as well. Here's another year, 1996 or 1995, 1996. You can see this one was very cold and really warm across the southwest, but generally pretty cold across the eastern and northern United States. So you can see they all vary a bit, but generally what we're seeing is more of a cool to the north below average and warm to the south. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't outliers. You could see 1998, 1999 was one of those years, and it was warm, similar to the year we just had. Just warm across 90% of the United States. If you were to look at now 2005, 2006, again, it was warm across much of the United States. But there you can see most years were like this. There was another year that I had, I think it was 83, 84 that I had pulled up here. Or no, it was a different year, but I clicked X on the tab on accident, so I can't show you that when it got lost. But it was a cooler one. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, only 2 were warmer, and 5 were cooler. Its chances are that with the pattern that we're seeing with this Enzo, we'll be looking at a more of a cooler winter, just based off that. But again, that's not really enough to just make a forecast and say it's cool because of it's gonna be a cool winter because of these years. There's a bit more that goes into that. But hopefully, I guess you enjoyed this video. Hopefully, you learned something new. And I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. See ya. Bye.